All right, guys, and we are live. Cody, how you feeling, man?
I'm feeling all right.
I think this might be the most fired up I've seen Twitter and Pistons fans on social media after this game. So, and
Dude,
just guys, I'm probably just going to go for like 30 minutes here with Cody if he has the time, because if you can't tell, my voice has gotten worse the past 24 hours. So we're going to do our best here. But thanks for joining me, first of all, Cody. But yeah,
get out of this light quick.
you're good. For those that might have somehow missed the game, I assume you all watched, but the Pistons fall in overtime, 120 to 127 against the Bucks. But yeah, Cody, over to you, man.
Yeah, I just can't believe what I'm seeing on Twitter, honestly.
Yeah,
Like the fan base killed or like just begged for a team that was competitive, and now they can't handle competitive losses at all. They just can't handle it.
yeah,
Like this team has been every game but one has been close, 13 games. Last year, they might have had 20 close games total. Total 20 close games. We were begging for just the ability to feel something, or watch a team that could win, have a chance to win night in and night out. And now Pistons fans act like they're too good for this team. Like
yeah.
we don't win every night, so I don't care.
So
This is terrible. It's a
the
joke. It's a
goalposts
joke.
have moved so fast. I think that's what I'm a bit frustrated with. And I absolutely love the passion and how many people, like, the Pistons community feels like way more bought in this year. It's fun to be around and I love it. But I just thought tonight, it's like you said, I feel like the goalposts have shifted so quickly with this team on what the expectations are. And I thought tonight was a perfect example of that. And I don't want to just get on the fan base, but I just felt like tonight was like this team was missing half their rotation. Like, they still don't have a Sar. they don't have Tim Hardaway Jr., who's been a top 4 player. Like, they don't have Jaden Ivey.
Yeah, they don't have their second. They
I'm
don't have
just
their legitimately second best player. No, and I
yeah,
know what people are going to say. Oh, the Bucks didn't have
yeah,
Middleton. They didn't have Dame. I get it. They have a top 4 player in the entire world, and they
yeah,
needed 60 points from him to win. It's not
yeah,
like they lost this game and Giannis had 22.
yeah.
Like he had 59 points, and he made every. It seemed like he made every single jumper he took. He never makes jumpers.
And
Like
free
he
throws.
made every free throw. Like he never makes free throws. He's a 50%
Yeah,
three. Like sometimes you just have to chalk it up to a guy, again, a top 5 player in the entire world, is in the zone. And he's like, obviously the game swung when Stu got ejected because he was the only one who could cover him. He was the only one who could guard him. That was huge. I'm mad at Stu for that. You have to be smarter.
yeah,
And if that's not Giannis, it's probably a flagrant 1 play on. Like, if we're being real, if Ron Holland did that to Torian Prince, that's
yeah.
an F1 and they keep playing. But Giannis gets star treatment. I honestly thought that Giannis, that was a charge on Cade. They didn't give Cade the charge. They didn't give Cade any calls all night. Cade didn't get a single whistle the entire game, which is part of the course. I mean, there were so many things to like about this game. I'm just gonna say it now. Ron was good tonight. And
Yeah, he
yes,
was.
he screwed up in a clutch key moment. I could tell as soon as he stepped to the line, the lights were too big.
Yeah,
Like when they
yeah.
panned it to him and then panned it back to the crowd, I was like, the crowd's going
And
nuts. The mascot's got those sticks and he's doing this with the
bro,
sticks. I'm like, dude, I was
the
just
Bucks was
praying he
smart
didn't
as well.
walk.
Like, Giannis and Doc Rivers kept barking at the officials, like, to keep holding it up, build the like. It just felt like it took 2 minutes before he could even get into his routine. Like, it was after all the waiting we just had. Like, it was. Yeah, I was with you. Like, I honestly thought he would hit one, but as soon as he missed the first, I was like, nah, that second's not dropping.
Yeah. And I mean, I was like you. I wasn't expecting it. I was praying for him to make one. I
Yeah,
knew he was going to miss one. I knew for
yeah,
a fact he missed one. So I was just praying that the first one dropped. So then it's like, okay, if he misses the second one, they only have 1 second left in the clock. like that's all they're going to have, and they'll need to catch it and heave, we're going to win. But it didn't work out. And
Yeah.
like, don't get me wrong, I get the frustration from the fan base. It's another game where you have an 18-point lead,
Yeah.
and like you shouldn't blow those leads. But like I said, we literally just saw it last night. The Celtics were up 15 on the Hawks in the third quarter and lost. And the Celtics are, by all accounts, a top 3 team in the NBA. No one's
Yeah.
arguing that. So like,
Yeah.
this happens in the NBA on a nightly basis, and I myself have to get, more like just remember that. And like
Yeah.
when I'm watching these other games and seeing it, like teams go on ginormous runs all the time. It just
Yeah.
it's the way the NBA is these days with the shooters and the how skilled everyone is. Like it just takes a bad stretch, and that's all it was. The Stu play I think was the biggest turning point in the game.
That's fair. I mean, the shoe one didn't. The actual play didn't annoy me as much. The fact he got tossed out though is what hurt. Like if that's just a flagrant one and he's able to keep playing, I actually don't care because I think I didn't actually think it was a flagrant two, but it's Giannis and then it's Stu. So I get the ref when you look at those two players, it's going to go one way. I think ultimately, like, yeah, it's a turning point. I just think like Giannis 60 points, you have no one to guard him, so maybe you can pin it all on Stu, but I don't know. Maybe I'm too easy on this team. I thought they
No,
fought hard. Marcus Sasser, like shout out to him. That's like his shot making abilities, like can say a lot about him and his lack of playmaking, but his ability just to make shots in clutch moments. Like there was that pull up two when Cade checked out for a minute, he hit. Like just shout out to him. But
yeah, he looked good
um,
too.
yeah, like I don't know how that affects the rotation at all, but he did himself plenty of favors. But yeah, ultimately, like I mean, we can like there's just no one. Like, how do you stop Giannis when he's got 16 free throws, hitting jumpers, hitting threes? I mean, watching the game, like Jalen Duren was frustrating me a bit. Like some of those Lopez threes really killed me, but I thought JD was okay. I
Yeah,
don't know.
I mean, he's not he's not built to guard a guy like Giannis. He's
Yeah,
not, because Giannis, especially if he's not making the middies, it's one thing. But if he's making the mid range shots, forget about it. There's not many players in the entire league that can guard Giannis when he's hitting 18 footers, 20 footers. You can't guard him
literally.
because as soon as you start pressing him, he's so athletic he'll go by you. And if you give him 3 feet like Duren was, because he was like, I just can't get beat to the hole every time, and he's making 18 footers, like where's the relief valve? Like what do you do? I wish they would have tried to double him more and just force other people to shoot. But in all fairness to JB in that second half, everybody on the Bucks was hitting.
Yeah,
Gary Trent got hot.
Prince.
Brooke Lopez was ridiculously hot. Torian Prince even started hitting threes.
Yeah.
So it's like you didn't really have too many options of like if you're doubling, you're giving up a three more than likely, and those guys were hitting threes.
Yeah, no, I think this is a good shout. Is from Allen as well. Wendell Moore played good, well, good defense here. But I thought more like I kind of joked to you in one of our DMs, being like Wendell Moore's playing big minutes, but huge three in the corner he hit. I think that was towards the end of the fourth. JB really trusted him, putting him back in. And I thought for what you expected to get out of him and what he gave you in the end, I thought those are huge minutes for him.
Yeah, he was
Like
fine. I mean, Wendell Moore. Let's be real. Wendell Moore has no business on an NBA court. None.
absolutely. I just want to give him. I
Yeah,
just
yeah,
think
no,
it's
no,
he's worth
exactly.
giving a shout out.
So that's like I saw
Um,
everybody trashing him on Twitter. It's like, dude, he has
yeah,
he has no business being on the court at all.
yeah,
He's giving you
yeah,
what he can. Like
exactly.
I thought every guy that was not in the rotation that played gave you everything you could ever expect.
Yeah, very
Besides
true.
Paul Reed, I thought Paul Reed was just
Yeah, too small,
too small,
too
not fast
small.
enough.
Really stood out.
Yeah, so I mean, Paul Reed was, whatever. I mean, that's not why they lost. Paul Reed's not why they lost the game.
No,
So
no, but I agree. For Sasser and Wendell Moore, considering what has Sasser played like 5 minutes against the Pacers and
yeah,
maybe got in against the Knicks, like considering how little those guys have played, I thought they were really good. But I want to talk about Cade's game. I think season high 35 points on 34 shots,
Yeah.
4 free throws, horrible turnover there at the end, which it feels like he has one of those, at least one of those in the clutch where you're just like, what was that? I don't know how to feel about his game. I like that he kept
That's Cade's
attacking.
worst game of the season. He made big
Yeah,
shots, yes, but dude, you shoot 11 of 34. Gross.
yeah. I
Disgusting.
feel like though he had to get like maybe not 34. It's like gross percentages. I agree. I just don't. Were there any shots that really frustrated you? Like
Yeah.
really, or was it turnovers?
Him attacking Brook Lopez as will when he knew he couldn't finish.
Yeah,
He had
I
no
don't
chance
mind
of
it,
finishing over
but
Brook Lopez
it's
on
fair.
8 of those drives.
Yeah, but it's
So,
like I fully understand you. I just think though, like I don't know, man. Just respect him attacking and not backing down and settling for like shitty mid ranges all the time.
but
Like
that's the
go
thing.
at them, but
He
yeah,
wasn't even getting in his mid-range bag.
yeah,
Like you get Brook Lopez switched on you. Why not? Why not a step back midi? Why are
yeah,
you attacking? Why are you attacking a 7-foot guy with a ridiculous wingspan every time when you've been blocked 5 times by him this game?
yeah.
Like you have to read the room at some point. Like you're not getting by
No,
him
that's fair.
and you're not making
That's
those.
fair.
You're a great mid-range shooter. Go to your mid-range game. Attack him a
That's
different
fair.
way. And then maybe if you attack him in the mid-range, you get him a little tighter and then you can get by him and get a quick lay off the glass. But he just kept doing the same thing over and over again.
Yeah,
I'm being completely honest. Stu is my number 1 culprit. Cade's my number 2. And yes, Cade had to carry the team. We get that.
yeah,
But there was a lot of times where he made bad decisions at bad times. And that's just we're in year 4. I can't excuse him every time. Like
yeah. No, that's
35 points on 34 shots, and with the amount of turnovers he had, it's not a good game.
no. I don't think I'm not here to say that was a great game or 35 points. Forget about everything. Just look at that and celebrate it. I don't mind him attacking it, but yeah, I must admit, like it was a quiet 35. Like had some kind of key shots. I don't know if it was the end of the fourth or in overtime, but yeah,
Yeah, no, I
maybe
mean that
and
fourth.
I'm promise I'm not making excuses here, but I think he needs some rest. I think the Pistons need some rest after those 2 back-to-backs going to overtime. But yeah, no, it's anyone that criticizes him for the things you said is very fair. Because I mean, the turnovers for me are the thing that left-handed pass he threw to Sasa, I was just like, because
Dude,
is it
like,
Andre Jackson? Like he was picking him up full court, and it's just like you've
but he
just got
wasn't
to
even
absorb
that
that.
tight on him.
No, I know,
Yeah,
and Cade just
it wasn't
rushed
like
it.
Dyson
That's what I'm
Daniels the other
saying.
day. It
No, no,
wasn't
no.
that same type of defense at
Yeah.
all.
Teams just know to just if you just pressure him for long enough, he's just going to cough it up, and they become very obvious in the fourth. And then when it really matters, he's got to figure that out. But yeah, I think we've summarized his game pretty well. Nothing special. You thought it? Did you say his worst game of the season?
Yeah, I thought it was his worst
Yeah.
game of the season.
No, that's fair. I'll go
I'm not counting
somewhere
the next
else.
game. I don't think he played
Yeah.
particularly well in the next game, but they were out of it so quickly. I
Yeah.
don't.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. That game you just throw it away. Malik Beasley for 3 quarters, I thought was awesome. I think he finished with 26 or something.
Give him an extension right now today.
Yeah, you think?
Yeah, the team
Yeah.
needs a guy like that. He's a
Yeah.
flamethrower.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, honestly, I normally get a bit frustrated with some of his turnovers. I think he had one tonight, but I thought, like, for the most part, he was awesome. Played his role, like you said, flamethrower, 26 points, 8 threes or something. Like, yeah, he was huge.
Yeah, no, I think Malik was one of the biggest reasons that they jumped out to that lead. He was just hitting every single time the Bucks went on a run. He'd hit a big 3, quiet the crowd. Like he was one of the main reasons I thought that they were really getting out, and really pushing the Bucks to the limit. Yeah, I mean, I'm serious. Trajan should be on the phone being like, dude, what do you need to stay here? We need you long term. And everybody would be like, oh, he's a trade chip. He's a trade chip. Yeah, okay, we can keep flipping good players for 2nd-round picks all we want. It's not gonna move the team forward. Like you
I'm
got to keep some of
curious,
these guys.
what does someone like Beasley get for an
2nd-round pick.
extension? No, no, not to trade. Like extent,
Oh, an
like
extension?
annual salary wise. Like, would it be 3 for 24 or 3 for 30, or is that overs? Because he's
I don't
only
know. I
1 year,
mean,
6 mil, so it's like there's obviously not a huge market.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. He signed with the
So
Pistons. I can't
yeah,
imagine the Pistons were his first
that's
choice, and he signed
that's
for
what I
$6 million. So
yeah. So
I can't imagine. I mean, he. I think if he keeps playing the way, that's why it's like, dude, maybe you're just better off getting it done because like the more and more he has games like this, it's like, dude, more teams are going to see that, and more teams are going to want his services because you always need a guy like that off the bench. Every team needs that guy, and
yeah,
like I think he likes in Detroit. I think he likes playing with Cade. I think he's having fun. Um, I think that's a guy you look at like locking up on like a 2 to 3 year
yeah,
deal past this year and just keeping in the fold because it's like we talked about with Bojan. Like those skills aren't going to really fall off a cliff.
yeah.
Those the shooting ability and stuff. And he's still much more athletic than Bojan ever was.
Oh, absolutely.
So
Yeah,
like that was the concern with Bojan. Is just like, oh, he's getting hurt a lot. He's not athletic already. Of course, he's
yeah,
gonna be able to hit a bunch of threes, but like Malik's still pretty athletic, and he's obviously a flamethrower and a half.
yeah. I think he's only like 28 as well. Like he's obviously been around for a bit, but I don't think he's like THJ is 32. I don't think Malik's near that. But yeah, I'm with you. I think off the court as well. Like I think he's been really good. I think he needs someone positive, upbeat like that because sometimes just to bring the energy. Because sometimes the young core the Pistons have can seem a bit like I don't know, just lacking energy sometimes. But where do we want to go next? The- Who was your other big positive for the game? We kind of spoke about the bench guys who hadn't played. We mentioned Beasley. Was there anything else?
Yeah, I mean, I think Ron was.
Yeah,
He played. He had a lot of effort on defense. His finishing was great. He didn't take any shots where I was like, Jesus, Ron, why are you doing that?
yeah,
He stayed within himself. And he played a clean game. I think that's Ron Allen's best game, regardless of the ending. And like he's gonna feel bad about that. Like, no doubt about it.
yeah.
Like,
It's gonna feel horrible.
yeah, he wanted that win. Like, and everybody said, like, oh, he was smiling at the free throw. I'm like, dude, people people have different nervous ticks when they're in high
Yeah,
pressure situations. Like, I'm the same way. I crack jokes when I'm really uncomfortable.
yeah,
Like, I'm trying to make people laugh to like break a weird situation or something because I'm like he was laughing or smiling because he was extremely uncomfortable. Like that, that's not a weird thing. Like that's psychology 101. Like people do what try. He was trying to make himself comfortable, and he couldn't because that was a ridiculous moment for a really young player. Like, and I'm not going to put. Obviously, you should make a free throw, but I'm not gonna hold it over his head too much. I thought he played
yeah.
really well.
I thought he did as well. Like I think that was the biggest thing, like just playing within himself. There was, like even last game, I don't know if it was yourself or Kyle yesterday, but he had like that step back mid range shot where you're just like, what's that wrong? But I feel like tonight he did take a three, but I felt like it was in rhythm. And I think it was towards the end of the shot
Yeah,
clock.
open
So
with 4 seconds left in the shot clock.
yeah, yeah. So like obviously that's fine. Um, and yeah, like that stuff happens. Like I just don't think it's fair to lose your marbles at an 19-year-old. Um,
Yeah,
yeah, he smiled, but
another
like you said,
player,
yeah, if
another
that's
player on the
Cade
team
or
that
anyone, yeah,
probably shouldn't be getting huge minutes.
yeah,
Like, he's not like people need to realize he's like a year plus younger than when Azar came into the NBA.
yeah,
So it's like, dude, what like, and like we saw a lot of last season. There were moments where Azar wasn't ready. He was offensively challenged. Yes, he was amazing on defense, but he hurt the team offensively. Now, part of that was the way Monty used him and how he was utilized. But Asar didn't look ready, and I would argue that Asar was a more polished overall prospect.
yeah,
I think Ron's ceiling is very high, just like his. But I think coming into the league, I think Asar was more polished overall.
yeah, definitely. Like Ron, when you just go and look at the G League tape, like he has some really nice plays, but he's so out of control so often. Whereas Yeah, I think Asar's definitely more polished. Yeah, I mean, look, I actually haven't seen a whole heap of fans like losing it at Ron, but yeah, I think we're both aligned in the fact that it's you can't pin that on him. Even
Yeah,
if
I
he
don't
should
know.
have hit one, it's just like on the road as well. Like so many people screaming, like it's tough.
Yeah, I mean, I've
Um,
seen a bunch of people calling him a loser, but you know,
oh, I'm not doubting that.
which is, but I do want to bring up one thing, Jack.
Go for it.
This is just another shining example of why the Pistons need Asar Thompson so badly. Because whether he can keep up with
Yeah,
Giannis strength wise, he can definitely stay in front of him and he can definitely give him problems. Like he's
yeah,
probably still going to get beat, but Giannis is not scoring like that on Asar.
yeah,
Like it's just a long line of examples of hey, the Pistons keep running into these teams with absolute stars, and these stars keep cooking. Asar's the guy to stop that.
yeah.
Now, luckily on
Exactly.
Friday, they're playing a Raptors team that does not have a single star. Scotty Barnes is out. They don't have a single guy who can get like really get buckets. Besides Grady Dick, ironically, he's balling this year. But like, I feel like this Rockets game is perfectly timed, like perfectly timed.
The Rockets game?
Oh no, sorry, I misspoke. The Raptors game on
Oh,
Friday.
yes. Yep. They have to win that though. Even though it's on the road, like you got to win that.
Yeah, I mean the Raptors are
Yeah.
horrible. They're
And then
horrible.
they have the Wizards on Sunday. So play like that again and I think you win both. Like
You
you
got to
said to
win
me,
one. You got to win one of the two.
I mean, I guess, yeah, like I'm assuming they at least have the team they have tonight. And I assume Ivy will be back. Like if it wasn't a back-to-back, I feel like he's definitely playing.
Yeah, I just thought it was weird. Like the both of them had toe sprains.
Yeah. I didn't see Fontecchio's, but I
It
saw.
kind of seemed a little load managementy to me.
Yeah. Well, Fontecchio as well, foot surgery. I don't know if it was the same foot, but and how that all works. But
Yeah, I guess
I,
I didn't know. I thought it was on his actual like his foot, not his toes.
yeah,
But I mean, yeah, I mean that's another. It's like, dude, those guys were so sorely missed tonight.
yeah.
Like, imagine you don't have to turn to Wendell Moore. You're like Tech. Like
I
just
know
like
it's pretty crazy. Like I mean, I feel like Teg's been down this year, but he was coming off his best game, and then just to lose him, it hurts.
the worst version of Tech is better than the best version of Wendell
Absolutely.
Moore.
Yeah, absolutely. Look at Derek. Cody really enjoys touching his beard.
I do. I do it when I'm talking all the time. It's a tick. It's a tick.
There we go. It's a tick.
If I was up there shooting free throws like Ron Holland, I would have been doing this right before I got the
ball. You can't smile though.
No, you can't smile.
No, look, I just want to say, like, I love Pistons fans. I love the passion. Tonight was just the first night I've like felt like I was just like going against the grain on so much I was seeing. But I guess that happens when, like, I think I saw you tweet out Cody, and you said at the start here, like, the fact we're in these games, we're frustrated and we're losing our minds over single possessions and single like runs. I think like, yeah, if you told me this in March earlier this year, I would take that in a heartbeat.
Yeah, I mean that's my biggest thing is like every Pistons fan was not saying go win 45 games. That's not what they were like. Be competitive, night in and night out. And now we get that, and it's not good enough. It's like you said, the goalposts are moving way too fast.
Yeah,
like
and yeah.
Go ahead.
No, that they are, and like I get, like it's exciting, like the fact we can look at the standings, and I know the East might be all over the place, but they were 7th before tonight. Like it's exciting, and you want, no matter what your expectations are, and what you think this team actually can do, like the fact they're 7th, like you just want them to stay there and get closer to 500 because we haven't felt that in so long. So I get why it's frustrating, but some of the things tonight I saw, I'm just like, ooh, I just really disagree with that. I really disagree, especially with the team that was out there. I just thought it was some pretty harsh comments, but I mean, that's Twitter at the end of the day.
Yeah,
so
and that's the thing. That is
complain.
the thing about Twitter that I have to really start to just like jam back into my head.
Yeah.
it is the most negative social media platform on the entire planet by a long shot.
It's crazy.
People love negativity on Twitter. People love it. And in general, I think human beings like negativity. There's something weird about us as humans that like we like that. We like feeling better about ourselves. So we can talk crap. Like it's a self-esteem that we can talk crap about these professional athletes who have better lives than any of us and will make more money than any of us and will meet hotter women than us and just have better lives than us in general. And we get to talk crap to them because they didn't win. Like it's a jealousy thing. It's a human nature thing. It's weird, and I'm guilty of it too sometimes. I'm very hard on this team, but I DM'd you earlier in the day. Nope, yeah. I'm watching this one. No pressure, and of course by the end it was like I'm feeling it obviously because we have a chance to win with this ragtag group. But like at the end of the day, I expected them to lose. I honestly didn't say this. I didn't tweet it anywhere. I didn't say it to you. I expected them to lose by 10 or more. I really did.
Yeah.
I thought coming off of overtime, 3 guys out, they're not going to hold up. They just won't. This will just be a game where they might be in it for a while. They'll get tired and they'll lose, and it'll be fine. And I almost wish that happened because I don't think the discourse would be this wild. If they just lost the game by 10 points in a game where they're competitive, I think everybody's like, oh, well, they did just play the Heat in overtime, and Giannis dropped 40 and, whatever. But that's the thing that blows my mind, and I don't mean to ramble, but
yeah,
Giannis had 59. Like, can people put that in perspective for a second?
I think it was like 59, 14, 7 assists, blocks.
Yeah, he almost had a 59-point triple-double.
He's insane. Like, I mean, I don't know. Like, imagine watching him every night. Like, wow. I know. Like, I think Cade's gonna be good, but like Giannis, like, especially like you said, when he's hitting those jumpers, like, there's actually no way to guard him. Like, I don't know how you do. And then when his teammates start hitting shots, like, it's just like, man, he's ridiculous.
And
just ridiculous.
Sorry, I didn't cut you up, but that's why it's really nice to be a Bucks fan right now because no matter what happens, you either have Giannis or you get 17 million picks and players for him. So like the Bucks are in a good spot regardless. I don't think this roster can personally contend, and I don't mean to talk about the Bucks on a Pistons podcast, but like they're in a good spot regardless because of how good he is, and that's why it's beautiful to and I guess that tying it all back, that's why it's beautiful to have assets. And that's what sucks so much about where the Pistons started this all because they had 0.
Yeah. 0. They had negative, I swear.
Yeah, literally. The ghost.
Troy, the moment he traded that first rounder, was it to New York? Yeah.
The ghost of Blake Griffin and Andre Drummond.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, it's crazy. You just look at so many of these other teams.
Yeah, you look at every team that rebuilt in the same timeline with us.
Well, that's what Kyle said yesterday before he had to go. I think his son or daughter started crying, but he literally left us on a cliffhanger and he said he doesn't see Cade on this team in 2 to 3 years. He only sees Jaden Ivey and Isaiah Stewart.
I mean, I'll tell you this.
For that reason, about the assets, that's why you could see Cade gone.
Yeah, and I mean that's the thing. I mean, Trajan is I think he's only gonna be so patient. Like I think I think he will be patient. I think he'll have a decently long leash, but I think like if he doesn't see what he wants to see with Cade, I could easily see him moving him to a team like the Thunder or something like that. If the Thunder can't get over the hump, and getting a billion picks. And just restarting it with his own blueprint.
Yeah.
Obviously, that would stink. I don't want to go back to the doldrums of tanking anytime soon. But, I mean, you got to do what's best for the team as a GM. And I don't know. I trusted Troy Weaver. I trust Trajan, but I did trust Troy Weaver. So maybe I know nothing. But
no, I think it's a fair call. And that was Kyle's point as well. Like, I don't think it's crazy at all. At all. I think Cade's here. But I fully get that because he's the guy who can get you the most. I want to give you a chance here to defend yourself, Cody. YouTube user says, this is a little the pot calling the kettle black after the Pistons lost close games to very good teams and Cody was pissed. I think I know what your answer will be here, but I want to let you have a chance to say.
Different expectations for those games than I had for tonight. It's that simple. I had, for one, full complement of players in those other games minus Asar, so nothing new there. And in those other games, they weren't coming off of a back, or they weren't on the second leg of a back-to-back after just going to overtime. Cade had back spasms last night. Again, they're missing Ivy, their second best player, THJ, a top 5 player in this roster this year, and Fontecchio, who was just starting to round into form. They played Wendell Moore and Marcus Sasser big minutes. Stu got ejected. Like, I could go on and on and on about why I'm not super mad about this one compared to the other ones. You can say pot calling the kettle black, whatever. I have been mad after other games. No doubt about it. Have been angry. But it's different circumstances to me. It's completely different circumstances. So.
Yeah, no, I think that's fair. Like that's why I'm not like too mad after tonight. Like the circumstances, and I don't think I don't want to speak for you here, but I don't think either of us are advocating for like that's a moral victory. Like, well done, guys. Like, I think it's just when you look at it, like I know who the Bucks were missing, but it's like Giannis is still like that version of Giannis might be better than every Pistons player combined talent wise. Like,
Oh, 100%.
Like it's
and
like seriously, who the team the Pistons had on the court tonight versus Giannis by himself, talent. Like, there's more with Giannis.
I mean,
I know that sounds stupid, but I think you know what
it's
I'm trying
this
to say.
simple.
Yeah.
The Pistons could put together any trade package they want for Giannis, and the Bucks general manager would hang up the phone faster than you could say boo. Like, they could offer Cade, Ivy, Duren, Stu, 2 first-round picks, Bucks hang up the phone because they can get a better package than that. It's that simple. But like, to just close up the retort of mine, I'm not happy. I wanted them to win. I'm not thrilled. I'm not sitting over here being a slappy and being like, oh, all is well. But at the same time, given the circumstances, I mean, dude, any game where Wendell Moore plays 15 minutes or more, I can't be mad. Because that guy, say what you want about the Bucks roster right now, at least all the guys that are playing have proven that they can play on an NBA court. Dude, Wendell Moore should be in China or in Slovakia right now. Should not be on an NBA court. No shade. No shade, obviously, to Wendell Moore.
No shade. He did his thing tonight. He did his best. All right. Where should we go next? I'm trying to think. I feel like we've covered some positive, negatives.
You want to look forward?
Yeah, let's look forward. So 2 away games, no back-to-backs, but they're separated by a day. Toronto and Washington. I feel like Toronto, they haven't won there since Dwayne Casey's. Oh, no. Yeah, Cade's rookie season. I think they were 4-0 against the Raptors. Last year, I remember, I think it was their 13th loss in a row, and the Raptors blew them out by like 30 points, and it was miserable. Expectations for those 2 games?
2-0.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
I mean, okay, so, and I misspoke earlier. I forgot the Raptors have RJ Barrett. So they do have players. They have Jakob Poeltl. They have some players, but they're really bad. They're really bad without Scotty Barnes. And the Wizards are humbly the worst team in the NBA. They are the Pistons last year.
Yeah.
So if you can't go and beat, you got to go 1-1. Let's make that very clear. If the Pistons go 0-2, I will be, the next time I'm on, I will be very, very negative. Because you can't lose both these games to these teams. But it's weird saying I expect the Pistons to go 2-0 in 2 games. Like, it's weird. But I fully expect them to go 2-0. And that will make, let me tell you this. If they lose either of those games in a similar fashion that they did tonight, I will be volcanically angry.
Yeah, I think that if they don't win one of those, that is an absolute like we are right back. They'll be 5-10, I think, and we'll be right back in the same old Pistons territory. Like if you
Yeah.
can't win one of those games,
Yeah,
it's
I
like
mean,
I
neither of
think
those teams has a Giannis. So
no, no, and I
neither.
think the Wizards they won a couple of games early, but they're right down the bottom now.
Oh, I mean, I mean, Wemby dropped 50 on him in 26 minutes tonight.
Oh, it was actually in 26 minutes.
Yes.
Oh wow, I saw he dropped 50. I didn't know it was in 26 minutes.
Yeah,
Oh my
it's the fastest. It's the most points scored with the least minutes played in a 50-point game.
God.
So 50 or more least minutes played to get 50 ever in NBA history.
Oh wow,
I mean,
wow.
like you
Yeah,
go
that's
look at that
insane.
Wizards roster. Who are you really scared of? Bilal
Uh,
Coulibaly, Corey Kispert.
yeah,
Like who is making you Kaishan Kaishan Grant, Alex
yeah.
Sarr,
Jordan Poole.
Jordan Poole. He scares you the most, but he's the biggest shot chucker of all time. They don't have Kuzma, who's a
I
Pistons
mean, he's
killer.
been. Yeah, that's true. Is he actually definitely out?
I'm not saying he's definitely out for sure, but he hasn't played recently.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
So I mean, and like the Raptors, I mentioned the players they have. Their roster is still bottom four in the NBA.
yeah.
Like these are the games you have to.
2 and
If
0.
if the Pistons come out 6-9, I'll be kind of mad. If they come out 7-8, I'm feeling good. If they come out
Yeah.
5-10,
Oh,
blow it up.
I might have to cancel the stream.
No, I won't say blow it up, but I'll be very angry. But the
Yeah,
only thing now that sucks is, dude, they just played an extra quarter of basketball in 2 nights,
yeah.
and they're
Back
already
to
not
back.
healthy.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see what happens with Cade's back spasms. I'm not surprised he played tonight. I was probably more surprised Ivy and Fontecchio were out, but yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how they handle it because it's like on one hand, he's what? How old's Cade? Like 22, 23. Like
Yeah,
you kind of don't think he should need rest, but he's just played a back to back with back spasms. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how they handle it.
I mean,
Hopefully, he's playing both.
tomorrow you got it. He's got to be getting treatment
Yeah,
right away. I would imagine they don't fly out till Friday morning. I don't know that for sure.
yeah,
Um, you know, it's a really quick flight from from Detroit to Toronto. So I'm guessing they don't fly out till Friday morning. I hope he's getting treatment all day. But my mood will shift pretty instantaneously once I see that injury report if the team looks exactly the same on
yeah.
Friday as it did tonight.
So yeah, just to clarify, we're saying 2-0 if like Ivy's back. I would say, or you say even with this team that played tonight.
No, if it's with this
I
team
just
that
want to make
played,
sure I'm getting your prediction
yes.
correct.
If it's this team that played tonight, you still got to go 1-1. You still have
Yeah,
to go 1-1. You just proved you can. You played with the Bucks
yeah,
for literally 50 minutes.
yeah,
Like you can beat the Raptors or the Wizards, but expecting them to win both without, because you think about it, that's like what? That's like got to be like close to 35 or 36 points out of your lineup you're missing.
yeah,
So 1-1 if it's the same team, 2-0 if everybody's back within reason. Like if they had Hardaway and Ivy, no tech, 2-0. If they had, I think it would be a little bit harder for me to say 2-0 with just THJ and they need Ivy, man. Ivy's good. Like let's get
yeah.
real about it.
Absolutely, they need Ivy. They need that. Like we spoke about yesterday, that secondary creation. Like that's why I think like Sasa was awesome, and um, if Ivy's out, he'll continue to get minutes. But yeah, there was no secondary creation really.
Yeah, you
Like
could
you
tell
need
how,
Ivy
how
back.
hard it was on the
Yeah,
offense in the fourth quarter
yeah,
when things ratcheted up.
yeah. So they need him back ASAP. If he's back, I think 2-0. I feel like THJ might be out for the rest of the week. Hopefully not, but
Well, I mean,
that was nasty.
his CT scan came back negative.
So does that mean no concussion?
I I
It's
would
just
I don't know for sure,
yeah,
but it rules out head trauma in a way. I'm not a doctor. I'm not going to speak on medical stuff. I went to school for business. I have no idea. But it sounded like he just had to get stitches and he'd be fine.
So I assume Alan's talking about THJ. He said he was cleared. So yeah, it must
Yeah,
just
I
be
think
the
it was maybe like
laceration.
the stitches just need to heal.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thanks
Yeah.
for that, Alan. Yeah, that's what they're saying here in the comments. Thanks, guys. Okay, maybe he could be back. But yeah, you get Ivy back. I think it immediately should be 2-0 expectations. Cade plays, like you just said. They showed tonight on the road in Milwaukee, like they were free throw away. So, um, that's probably gonna do it, man. Like my voice is not holding up, but if you have any more thoughts, we can stay on here for sure. Definitely want to hear them.
No, I guess I'm just going to make a declaration that I'm going to try to be more positive going forward. And anyone
Yeah.
watching, I hope you try as well, because honestly, I thought about it more like this morning and I was like, dude, I love Pistons, like I love Pistons basketball. Whether it's right or wrong, whether it's good for my health or bad for my health, whether it's like something I should love or not. I love Pistons basketball, and like I just said, you know what, I'm going to turn over. I'm sure there's still going to be moments where the emotions will get the best of me, but I'm going to try from now on to be more positive. And now it's on video, so anybody can roast me and be like, dude, you said this the other night. You said you're going to be more positive. So I'm kind of putting this out as a reminder to myself to be more positive on Twitter and try to rally the troops in a more positive way and try to support this team who is giving me more joy than any team since the infamous closest sweep that I've ever seen against the Cavs in what was
I,
that, 2018?
16. I agree
16.
though. That Blake Griffin team, I don't know why. Maybe I don't enjoy basketball, or maybe I enjoy basketball in a weird way, but I didn't get that much joy from that team. I'm gonna be honest. Like, I don't look back. Like, I think Blake was awesome that season, but in terms of the mixture of hope, joy, and just looking forward to Pistons basketball, for me, the best stretch ever was that 14-6 start in 17-18 with Reggie and Andre and Tobias. But I think that 16 team, we really thought after they lost to the Cavs would be back in the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, because
But
people
obviously not.
forget that 3 of those games were very close.
Yeah, no, they really were.
Yeah, and I just remember coming out of that. Stanley Johnson's the LeBron stopper. We got something here. Like, this
Yeah.
kid has no fear. Like, all that's that was for me. I got a lot of joy out of that team because like to your point, I really thought that this was like a team that was going to make the playoffs a few years in a row. I knew it
Yeah.
wasn't sustainable by any means, but I was like, oh, we're going to be in the playoffs a few more years. Like, all hope is not lost in Detroit. Of course, Blake's knees didn't hold up, and everything kind of went down the drain after that. But
Yeah.
it was fun. I mean,
I think that's a great way to end it though. Like, positivity, you haven't called yourself out, you're just saying it. And I'm with you. I think like it's fun in these games to be emotional and everyone can fan how they want to fan. I'm not telling anyone how they need to support their team. I think I could be more positive as well.
I think it's just better for the mental, right?
Yeah.
Like, if you're
Yeah.
not, because like I don't like putting constant negativity out into the world. Like,
Yeah.
as much as it may seem that way sometimes. I mean, I've just been watching this team for so long. Like I said, I've said it multiple times in the stream. Like, legit, this 21 years. This year is like super fanning. 23, like, casually watching, and is super fanning. Like, I've been on this grind for a while, so it's hard not to be negative. But I'm just shutting it out from now on.
I mean,
In
in
fact,
fairness,
every time I come on the stream, I'm coming on with 3 positives. I'm coming on with 3 positives.
I'm
No
gonna
matter how
hold
bad
you
the
that.
game went, I'm coming on with 3 positives every time I come on.
Unless it's a Knicks game, that's where I'm gonna give you some grace.
I'm still gonna find. I'll still find
Okay.
positives.
I will
I will
I'm
find a
holding you to
positive.
that then. And chat, hold him to that.
I will
I
find a
love it.
positive. I will find, if it's a Knicks game, I will find at least 1. But any game like this, I will have 3 positives guaranteed.
I love it. Love it. I like, yeah, just to wrap it up, I agree with you. Like, I've never looked more forward to Pistons basketball because I just genuinely feel like they can win any game. Like, I really believe that.
It's a beautiful thing, isn't it?
It's it's pretty good. Like,
Because
I'm
like,
loving it. I'm not
dude,
used to it.
yeah, like coming from a guy who was watching in game 68 last year, give me this every single
Yeah.
day of the week. I was watching when you would look. I'll tell you what, we haven't brought this up yet. I have not seen the opposing team laughing at us on the opposite bench yet this season. If somebody has, I've not seen, because that was when I really felt broken last year. Like when you would look and the other team's bench would just be clowning us.
Yeah.
Just like, oh, it's the Pistons. This is so funny. They're so bad. We're killing them. I've not seen that. I could be wrong, but I've not seen another team clowning us all year.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And, like, I haven't seen that, and, like, I remember watching Malachi Flynn's 50 ball in Atlanta last season. Like, I mean, I guess a lot of people probably ended up tuning into that game, but,
That was a
like,
fun game. Can't even
it
lie.
was, but it's just, like, at the same time, man, like, seriously, like, did he start? Oh, no, he came off the bench, I think.
Yeah, and
Anyway,
he
I'm
went
not
on his
I'm not getting
absolute
into
heater.
that.
He will be an answer to a trivia question one day.
Absolutely. That's gonna be the most random 50 ball. Like, there's Corey Brewer, there's Sadiq Bey, I think you can say is a random 50 piece, Terrence Ross. I think Malachi Flynn's way more random than those
Dude,
guys. Those
I
guys were
think
all
there'll be
lottery picks. Or
yeah.
Sadiq was what, first rounder?
Somebody will find a way to make that a Pistons trivia question. Like it'll be like 5 or 6 years down the road, and there won't be many more 50 points. And they'll be like, name the last 3 Pistons to have a 50-point game.
Yeah, Paul's gonna be doing it. I'll be telling my kids about Flynn's 50 ball.
All right, kids, sit on around the rocking chair. Grandpa's going to tell you about how Malachi Flynn dropped 50 points in a random Pistons game that nobody watched, but I did.
Do you know, I think Harold's just pulled one here out of the archives. George McLeod. I'm guessing that's someone who's dropped a 50 ball. I've
Yeah.
never, ever heard that name. So
I
shout
haven't.
out to you, Harold.
But it's probably an old school 50 bomb. And so it's like, it's
Yeah.
probably similar to us, like right now, like in 10 years saying, oh, remember when Malachi Flynn dropped that 50 bomb? And,
Yeah.
and the kids sitting around will be like, who's Malachi Flynn? Who is that?
Yeah,
Oh, just this random guy that got minutes for the worst Pistons team of all time.
I will say though, like you said, it was fun to watch. Like his shot making, I can't believe I'm talking about Malachi Flynn. But his shot making in that game was sick. His jumper looks pretty nice. Like I was
I mean, he was a
enjoying
really
it.
good player. He's a classic example of a really, really good player in college that just the NBA is a different level.
Honestly, man, he's the type of guard that he would come down here to the NBL and dominate. Undersized, shot first guards in this league dominate. So,
oh, dude,
anyway.
I'm sure right now. I think he might be on a roster. He is. Is he still in the Knicks or did he get waived?
No, I think he got waived by the Knicks, but he might be. Oh, here we go. Allen Flynn is owning the G League.
Yep, that
So
does not surprise me at all.
Alan, shout out to Alan. He was watching the Motor City Cruise yesterday.
No, because I was gonna say I was like I was gonna make the comparison. I'm like, dude, he could easily go do what Saban Lee did in the G League. Easily,
Yeah,
just go off.
Is Saban still in the league? Nah.
Overseas. Saban plays
Yeah.
overseas.
Yeah.
But a really high level league over there. He's making good money, so good for Saban.
Saban Lee. Wow.
The only reason I know that is because I saw a random clip on Twitter of him doing some pretty nasty stuff to some white dudes over there in some Euro league.
That's so good. All right, Cody, man. I think I'm gonna wrap it up here. But thank you for joining me. As always, my friend. There's plenty of love for you in the chat, even if there's a couple challenging you. We love it all.
Hey, I welcome a challenge. All right.
Yeah.
I don't back down.
No, well,
This is
we're
my
all
Ron
for
Holland moment, and I might miss both, but I'm gonna come back the next game.
I love it, man. Well, look, hopefully we got 2 more wins to discuss this week. I'm sure you'll be back for at least one more stream, if not both. But I appreciate you as always being prepared to jump on and chop it up with me, my friend. I know tonight's disappointing a little bit, but yeah, thank you so much for jumping on as always.
Not disappointed in me. I'm positive about this.
Yeah.
I'm positive about this one.
All right, my friend. Well, you go have a positive night, and we'll talk soon.
All right. Thanks, Jack.
All right. Catch you, man.
All right. Bye.
All right, guys. I'm just going to try to get through some comments here. So I think there was some issues. Some of them at the start weren't filtering through, so I missed some here at the start. But thank you everyone for tuning in as always. And I'm sorry about my voice. It's just I've got the flu and it's hanging on by a thread. Uh, Imagine Stu in 1990 though. Yeah, as you say here, I feel like he would fit on the Bad Boys teams. Um, Sasso is definitely a positive. 100% agree with you. I mean, I don't think when this team's healthy, he cracks the rotation, but how good is it to have someone like that who can just come in and give you buckets? Like, I must admit, like, I'm not sure a year, what are we, one season and 11 games into his career, if you want to say that using a first rounder on him might have been a reach. But I remember at the time they drafted him, I was over the moon because I think like his shot making and 3-point shooting is huge. Obviously, he's a bit undersized, so long term, I'm not sure how he holds down defensively, but I think he gives a little bit defensively. Like when he was with Houston, he was awesome. So yeah, interesting to see how it plays out. But I expect him to get minutes if Jaden's out for another game or two. No, it's very fair, Alan. Look, it didn't annoy me that much, but I think most of you are probably correct in the fact that it turned the game. Well, I think I pushed back in saying that lost the Pistons the game, but it did hurt the momentum, so I can't argue with that. But yeah. Fair enough, white guy next door. I think a lot of us are feeling like that. Alan, I can't say some of these, but I'm just putting them up so you know that you are heard. Chris, this team plays with zero heart. All the talent is there. It's about the heart at this point, nothing more. I've seen high school teams play with more enthusiasm on defense than this team. I'll pass. You know what? I definitely felt like that last season, but I honestly couldn't disagree more. But it's fair to have that opinion, but I think the heart and effort has been good to great for the most part. Like, and I genuinely feel that. But that's fine if I don't blame you after what this team's been like the past few seasons. If you've had enough, yeah, I agree. The Bucks front lines like Giannis and Lopez are like almost an impossible. Like I can't think of many teams that can match up with that size. Maybe the Cavs with their front line, but yeah, the Pistons just with Giannis, they don't have anyone. And I agree with Cody. Like we said, every game like Asar would have helped a heap, but Giannis at the same time is Giannis for a reason. Yeah, a stretch five would be good. I mean, Stu hit a three tonight, but even if he hit another three, I don't think teams are going to defend him like a stretch five. So I think long term, that's a decision the team has to make with the current roster they have. And because Jalen Duran's never going to shoot, and Stu, even if he can become a stretch five, like I don't know. So I think Lopez tonight. I don't even know how many blocks he had. I have him in my fantasy team, so um, whilst watching Cade get blocked at the rim 10 times was hard, at least there's some payoff after the game. Yeah, I agree. The nerds. Hope I'm saying your name right there. I've had more fun the last few games than I did the entire season. Yeah, this first is it 13 games now, 5-8 on the year. Like Cody and I just said, this is the most fun I have had and most excitement I've had to watch a Pistons team play since the first 20 games of 2017, 2018 season where they were 14-6. Like that, the start of that season was like the highest highs we've ever had when they were beating like the Warriors on the road, KD, and like those games. Like that was probably the highest high I've had. But obviously that season went to pieces, and then they traded for Blake later, and we all know what happened from then. But yeah, I've never been. It's been what 7 years since I've had this level of hope and excitement, so it's good. Uh, Alan in here with some more Stew slander. No, it's fair. I'm just not going to bring it up. We've brought up enough Stew stuff. Yurdi. It's tough to guard Giannis and the refs. Yeah, I must admit, when I saw Giannis complaining at the refs on those Ron Holland free throws, I was just like, come on, buddy. You've literally got your way the whole night. You just ran through Cade, which looked like an offensive foul to me, but got your way as per. So, yeah. I mean, yeah, I'm not too mad at the refs because ultimately we did get those 2 free throws, but yeah, it's super frustrating. What else we got here? I brought some of these ones up. Yeah, I'm with you, Nathan. Like, I thought Cody's opinion on Cade was fair and, wanting him like 35 points on 34 shots not being good enough. But, like, I honestly, like I said earlier, there was a couple of turnovers he made that I was just didn't get. But shot selection, like, I liked all of his shots. Like, I'm sure there's 1 or 2 if I actually go back and watch them all again. But I don't know. I thought they were fine. But yeah, I mean, 11 of 34 or whatever it was, like, that's horrible percentage. But I'm with you. Like, who else do you want taking all these shots? Yeah, I felt like he got a couple over Brook. I'm with the YouTube user, and that's like, I liked him just taking it to Brook. Like, I really did. Like, I mean, he got blocked, but the fact he didn't back down, kept going. I like that. I like Ron Holland took it right at Brook and dunked on him. Like, Brook's an elite rim protector, so he's going to get his blocks. But I don't know. I can't really be mad at a player for trying to get fouls or at least attacking. So, but if that upsets some people or they disagree, completely fine. Derek, I'm not giving Malik Beasley an extension. No chance. Fair, fair. I mean, I think like I think what he does, like, I think he's worth an extension. Like we were saying earlier, I don't know the value. YouTube user here says 2 years for 12 million or 6 million per season. I think that's probably it. Maybe a tad more just because he's, um, you know, you might need to do that to get him to sign it earlier than free agency. But yeah, I mean, why not? I feel like he wants to be here. He's so bored in. I think he has family from Detroit. Um, Not that I think sometimes people get a bit caught up in family ties to certain states and that having something to do with people signing, but I still think it counts for something. And I think Derek brings up here, he's shooting 35%. But I think it's because most of his shots are threes. Like that's why I've come on here sometimes and been frustrated with Malik because I don't mind him one dribble in, pull up mid range. Any more than one dribble, that's when I get frustrated with Malik. But I think that 35% from the field is a little bit misleading because most of his shots come from 3 on a high volume. But I respect you saying no chance on the Beasley extension. That I respect your opinion. Drake with some more perspective. Kate has 5 threes and 50% shooting, 11 assists to the 6 turnovers, 35 points that led this team by far. I mean, I respect Cody's opinion that he thought that was Kate's worst game of the season. I thought like it wasn't his best, but I thought he was, take away a few turnovers. I liked what I saw from him. But yeah, so I appreciate you sending that in, Drake, because I didn't even know he had 11 assists. So there you go. Adrian, shout out to you. I think if Ivy, Asar, and THC are on the court tonight, I think the Pistons probably won this game. Yeah, absolutely. They almost won tonight with the team they had. And yes, I know who the Bucks were missing, but I just think the Bucks still had more talent. They have Giannis. So Pistons, they should have won tonight. And definitely if they have at least 2 of those guys, I think they win. Yeah, a bit of a forgettable game for Tobias. He's been a bit better lately though. So I'm not going to lose it too much. I think we're kind of just getting a feel of who Tobias is now. I thought he made some key shots, missed some ones you want him to make. But I think he's there to be that third option when he's on the court. And you probably need more from him tonight without Ivy. So it's fair. I think for the most part, though, like he's here to rebound. I think this season he's been much more active in getting deflections, and like he's never going to be a good on-ball defender just because it feels like his lateral quickness has gotten a lot worse than what it used to be. So guys can blow by him pretty easy. So if you're expecting to be good there, I think it's just unrealistic at this point. But as long as he's been active, getting deflections, rebounding, moving the ball offensively, and knocking down his post ups and then open threes, I think that's pretty much what he's here to do. And the three ball is probably the thing that's lacked the most. Yeah, that's what I think he's here to do. So I don't think he's done that though, for the most part this season. He's gotten better recently, but he still needs to be a lot better. 100% Adrian. I'm not going to blame Ron for the loss either. And I think anyone that does is probably, I think that's pretty harsh. So I agree with you. Corey with some perspective on the season here. I have no issue with how the season has gone so far. I love how we have been competitive every game, but the Knicks, I truly think us are playing, wins us like 3, maybe 4 of our losses. 100%. I think of the 8 losses, I think you're getting at least 2 more wins, at least 2 more with Asar playing, like a healthy version of him. But I think to be 5-8, like it's still above my expectations of what I've expected. Like it really is. So I don't want to just keep using that like every game, but I truly do believe that they're ahead of where I at least thought they would be. Harold here, boys. I am loving our progress, but still get hung up on the complaining and up and down effort. We can control our attitude and effort, however, so much better than previous years. All very fair, Harold. I think the effort's been pretty good for the most part. So I haven't seen the attitude and effort issues as much, although I have seen them at stages this season. It hasn't been a huge thing that's been frustrating for me, but yeah, much better than previous years. I agree with you on that. I think I have gone through most of these ones here. Just going to check there's no new ones. Here we go. Alan, you might have to be our resident G League almost beat report. You might have to come up here at least once a week to give us an update on the Motor City Cruise. So they're 2-0. If you're still in the chat, who's been the standout players in those 2 games? I'll give you a moment to respond. I know, is it Cole Swider? Is that how you say his name? I know didn't he have 26 in the season opener? Which is nice. So Sebron. Okay, got you. I might have to go have a look. Did Sebron play on the Vegas Summer League team? I'm horrible with these two-way type players. I'm gonna Google Sebron now. This is bad streaming, but I've heard his name multiple times now. They're on